Hello, everybody. This is Super Toe Productions, and this is.
Mike J from Running with Scissors.
So, how are you doing today, Mike?
I'm good. I'm good. I just finished up shipping a bunch of stuff from the store, doing our live podcast, and now I'm doing the Super Toad production show.
Nice. So, when when you started, well, you and I'm pretty sure you and Vince started running with scissors. What made you start running with scissors? I mean, like, what had made you guys?
Well, just a little clarification. While I am named Mike, I am not the Mike that started Running with Scissors with Vince. His name was Mike Rydell. He was one of my original bosses with the company when I started back in 2001. The two of them came out of New York and started a software company in Tucson called Rydell Software. And they were award winning children's software developers. They used to make like Sesame Street and Hanna-Barbera and Wishbone games, lots of educational stuff, some original games for the Commodore 64, like Spy vs. Spy, WWF, things like that. And over the years, they just got tired of doing work for hire games, doing stuff for other people's properties. And so they decided it was time that they make their own intellectual property and something they wanted to play. So that's how they came up with Running with Scissors, basically being the thing your mother tells you not to do. And from there, they created Postal. So
Making Sesame Street games is a far cry from what you guys do now. Definitely.
yeah, yeah,
So,
just a little bit different.
so how did you get into the company? Like,
I actually went to high school with Vince's son, Vinny, and I met Vince just through random occurrence, driving Vinny to the office one day, and I met Vince, and we kind of bullshitted and laughed, and then a couple years later, my little brother happened to be working for his fiance at the time at a mailboxes, etc. And he saw my brother. He told him, "Hey, send Mike," and I haven't seen him in a while. And I just went into the office. We laughed a little bit, and he decided that he wanted me to work with him, and so he brought me in at the end of 2001.
so what's your opinion on like the reception Postal got in like the late '90s, like when it first very came out?
I mean, it kind of sucked and was awesome all at the same time, right? Like, it's not great to be, banned and blacklisted and not allowed on platforms like we are still to this day. But it definitely made us who we are, right? Like, we're known because of the shit we got into. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to actually wash the shit off of us for the last 27 years. And it still causes us to be banned from being on Xbox or being available in Germany or being available in New Zealand, Australia. We can't have our games on the Android App Store. We can't have our games on the Apple App Store. It just kind of sucks. Um, but it's cool at the same time. I mean, there's a certain point in your life where you're like, I'd like to stop being banned places and I'd like to be available in places, considering what's there.
Yeah, because Germany's one of the biggest video game markets. So
It is, and they have no problem selling GTA 5. So you know,
yeah,
it,
because at
it's
least in Postal too, you can pick whether or not to be a good guy or a bad guy.
exactly.
The
We do
game,
give you some wild options, but at the same time, you don't have to do any of them.
yeah, like the game's only as violent as you are.
Right. So if it's violent, you're a fucking psycho.
So what's your opinion on the Postal movie? Like, how did that come to be? How do you guys know UA Bowl and all that stuff?
Well, no, I mean, Uwe just had his fan club had hit us up randomly back in the day and wanted to make a Postal movie, and we kind of ignored it. We didn't particularly care for the stuff he had done, and I didn't really know if it was real, so we just like deleted the emails. And after more emails, we decided, fuck it, let's see what he's got, and we decided to work with him. And while he didn't make the movie we were thinking about, he did make what we thought was a pretty good movie. And while it sucks, it also didn't really come out because he made a Dungeon Siege movie before Postal, and that completely bombed at the box office. So he lost his theatrical run of Postal, and then because there was no theatrical run, the DVD orders were really low. And so while it has become a cult classic and people seem to love it these days, it didn't really come out, and it wasn't exactly loved when it came out. So
Yeah. So like after Postal 4 is like done with updates, what would you guys say your plan is? Are you guys gonna make something else, make another Postal game, or what's the plan with that?
none of your fucking business, man. We're not 100% sure yet. We're still talking about it and still working on it. So um, we don't really know, but we're definitely going to make something. So don't assume that we're just going to stop or just continue to work on Postal 4 forever. I mean, we will continue to work on Postal 4, even if it's in a smaller capacity, probably for the rest of our fucking natural lives. But yeah.
So like what's your opinion on like the places Postal is like taking the company and taking you?
I mean, it's definitely taken me all over the world travel wise. I mean, I can't believe that we're still doing this. I can't believe we're still selling as many copies of Postal 2 as we are every month. I mean, it is pretty fucking wild that the game that we decided to make way back in the day is still super popular and is well loved years later. But it's cool. It's very nice to hear how things have been going. So I mean, it's a game that sort of stood the test of time, and it's allowed us to keep making these. I mean, we've obviously had some genital warts in the middle there with Postal 3 and downtime, but we're still doing this and we're back and bigger than ever. So
What's your how did you guys get in contact with Turtle Pals Tapes for doing the Postal Redux soundtrack?
I mean, they just hit us up out of the blue and decided they wanted to make CD digipacks and vinyls with us. And it's something we've always wanted to get into, but it is fucking expensive and it's not what we do. So it's cool to have a partner that lets us do it with them. And it's cool to be able to offer these things.
Yeah, because Turtle Pals is a really nice company.
Yeah, good guys.
So I think that's about it for the interview. Anything you have to say?
Nope. Just if you haven't checked out our shit, please do. Runningwithscissors.com. And if you don't have a good way of washing your ass, make sure you check out MikeJ'sBidets.com. We're selling them now. Pre-order. They'll be in next month.
Hope you have a good day.
Thanks, you too, brother.